All right, Nick, let's talk about the Atlanta Falcons all offseason. Really, all of last year, too. We've been talking about the young guys on the Atlanta Falcons, guys that just came in and really were such bright spots, such exciting points of this Falcons team. And I think there's a couple of guys who came in and really just got overlooked. We always talk about new free agent additions, new rookies. There's a couple guys who flew under the radar, but now they're getting their just desserts. We've got an excellent list of PFF guys who are going to be breakout stars this season, and the Falcons have not one, but two players on that list. Let's get into the article, and we can talk more about it on the other side. This, of course, again, is from PFF. It says, with the 2024 NFL season slowly creeping up, we're looking at PFF data collected over the past few seasons to identify potential breakout candidates at each position on offense and defense. Here's our summer 2024 all-breakout team. Left guard Matthew Bergeron, Atlanta Falcons, the 2023 second-round pick out of Syracuse, took his lumps as a rookie, but had enough flashes for there to be optimism that he can become a plus starter for the Atlanta Falcons in 2024. Bergeron had 4 games last season where he didn't allow any pressures in pass protection. But wait, that's not it. There's also edge defender Arnold Ebiketie from the Atlanta Falcons. Ebiketie flashed enough as a pass rusher in year 2 for onlookers to think he can take another step forward in 2024. His pressure rate jumped from 9.2% as a rookie to 16% last year, nearly almost doubling there. I think this is great news for the Falcons, and I want to reiterate this one more time. This isn't a list of Falcons breakout players. This isn't a list of NFC breakout players. This is all of the NFL. They picked one player for each position. 2 guys from the Atlanta Falcons made it onto the list, so that is huge. Nick, I want to hear what your thoughts on this one are, but before we get to you, Falcons fans, in the comments section below, we're talking about breakout stars. We're talking about guys that potentially become legendary players. I want to know, who is your all-time favorite Falcons left guard or guard in general? Let us know in the comment section below. Who's your favorite Falcons guard of all time in the comment section below? And speaking of legendary, but when you look at the comment section and leave your comment, check the description below the video. Check out our list of NFL books that we would recommend. I think there's a lot of great options down there. I personally would recommend Swagger by Jimmy Johnson if you want to hear a great story about a legendary NFL and college coach, a guy who did it at both levels. So check the description below the video to check out our list of recommended NFL books. But Nick, nonetheless, what are your thoughts on these 2 guys from the Falcons?
So let's start with Bergeron here. And I don't know, people who watching this have followed our film reviews during the season. If not, we'll include a link to one at the end of this video. We actually talked about Bergeron during the season, during his rookie campaign, that he was showing flashes, that he was a really talented player. And now PFF, the analytics, is recognizing that as well, putting him as one of their breakout candidates. Agree 100% with that. He had all the physical tools, has the right demeanor, new offensive structure. He should have a massive year, already building this really phenomenal offensive line for the Atlanta Falcons. But I really want to focus on Arnold Ebiketie here. I think it's critically important because what have we heard from most Falcons fans in the media regarding the Falcons' first-round draft choice? They should have gotten Jared Verse out of Florida State. They needed edge help. They should have gotten Verse. That's the one complaint we hear in the media or from Falcons fans all the time. But if you look at the comparisons between Ebiketie and Jared Verse, it's very interesting. So I'm going to pull up Ebiketie's NFL.com draft profile. They list him at here. Here's his measurables at 6'2", 250 pounds with 34-inch arms and 10-inch hands. You look at Jared Verse. He's 6'4", a little taller, but 250 pounds, 33-inch arms, 10-inch hands. Physically, pretty much exactly the same. You look at Jared Verse, is considered a immediate plus starter, according to NFL.com. NFL.com lists Ebiketie as an eventual plus starter. So again, the Falcons drafted Ebiketie 2 years ago with the goal of developing him to become a plus starter. So they already had their plus starter rising up, breaking out, ready to improve and become the guy to be an edge defender for him this season. It was Arnold Ebiketie. They didn't need to draft Jared Verse, right? You drafted Ebiketie 2 years ago so that way he could develop into a quality player. You obviously, if you hadn't drafted Ebiketie, you could have drafted Jared Verse this year to be that immediate impact player. but you didn't need to because you already had him, because you drafted a guy like Ebiketie in the second round a couple of years ago to let him develop. And as the PFF report breaks down, he's gotten better. He improved his pass rush rate. If you look at his pass rush grade just at a high level, in 2022, it was a 54.1 pass rush grade. In 2023, 70.1, which is a good, solid player. We're seeing the trend in Ebiketie's favor, right? Falcons fans, I know a lot of you guys wanted Jared Verse, but guess what? When you break down the numbers, you didn't need him. You've got your quality edge player. Ebiketie's getting better and better and better. You already have the track record. You drafted him 2 years ago so that way he could become this player for you. That's why you didn't need Jared Verse, right? Trust me, guys, this is going to really work out well for you guys. I think Ebiketie's about to have a breakout year. I agree 100% with what PFF broke down. And if you look at the trend in sacks, 3 sacks 2022, 7 2023, according to PFF, this is a guy that's going to have a double-digit sack season. He's going to be a really nice player for you guys. And trust the process here a little bit. The Falcons got it right. They got their edge defender for 2024 2 years ago. That's why they didn't get Jared Verse. Arnold Ebiketie is the guy here.
Yeah, Nick, and you look at Ebiketie, and I think the proof's in the pudding as far as when you see his stats. You look at it, it's the growth in his pressure rate. You see 9% jumps up to 16%, and I'll give you a little bit of clarity here. A guy like Alex Highsmith, another breakout guy who broke out for the Steelers a few seasons ago, and now is probably one of the preeminent stars at pass rusher if you're in the know. This guy had 17.5% pressure rate last season. So Ebiketie right behind him, and that is just Ebiketie going 1 year to the next, and I think he has the possibility to do even better next year as well. So I think this is a guy that the more snaps he gets, the more playing time he gets, he is going to grow and grow, and I think he's going to be, like you said, an absolute star. I think that is what the Falcons see, and I don't think, like we said, sometimes these guys, they come into the league. This guy was drafted back in 2022. He was okay as a rookie. I don't think it was anything special. And the people kind of write him off. People kind of don't think that these guys can get better. Obviously, that's not true. These guys are making a huge transition from college to the NFL. I think Ebiketie hit the books, hit tape, worked on his performance, doubled his pressure rate pretty much from 1 year to the next. And I think now he's going to make that leap to be one of the premier pass rushers. And I feel like Falcons fans will be like, wow, we've had great pass rushers all along. We didn't need to get anyone in the first round. Maybe it would have helped, but I think Ebiketie is a guy that we all should have spent a little more time looking at.
Yeah, and it's just, we talk about this on this channel all the time, and I think it's really important to reiterate this here when you look at Ebiketie. We all think of these players, they come in their first year, their second year, and whatever they do, that's who they are. It's like a video game. It's like Madden. You're either a star or you're not. But that's not the reality. Players get better. Players develop. Sometimes it takes a few years, right? There's a reason you draft guys as developmental prospects, so that way 2-3 years down the road, they can be the star. So that way you don't have to use a first-round pick at that position. You use a second-round pick on a developmental guy like Ebiketie, 2 years, he becomes like he's a top 10 first-round pick in terms of production. This was the Falcons' strategy. That's what we're seeing here. That's why they didn't go with first. That's why they stuck with Ebiketie. And I think you're really going to see the results of this on the field this season.